speaker tonight. He's a native of Sandy, Utah. He just finished his third season as an offensive lineman for the Denver Broncos. He has started 46 of 48 games during his first 3 NFL seasons and was elected to the 2012 Pro Bowl after allowing just 1 sack during the entire 2012 season. He was the only member of the Broncos to play every offensive snap of 2012 and started in all 16 games for the Broncos, who won the AFC West Championship and earned the #1 seed in the AFC playoffs. Drafted 45th overall in the second round of the 2010 NFL Draft, he appeared in all 16 games for the Broncos as a rookie, including 14 starts, which earned him a spot on the Sporting News All-Rookie team. He has started all 3 of the Broncos postseason games since entering the league in 2010 and was named the Broncos Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee in 2012 for his extensive work in the community. As a standout tackle at the University of Utah, he received first-team All-America honors from the Football Writers Association and College Football News as a senior. He was chosen as the 2009-10 Mountain West Conference Male Scholar Athlete of the Year. Sounds like a Mines guy. In addition, he was voted a finalist for the Werfel Trophy and was a Lowe's Senior Class Second-Team All-American. He majored in mechanical engineering at Utah and earned a postgraduate scholarship from the NCAA for his classroom performance. Ladies and gentlemen, a hell of an engineer, a hell of a football player, a hell of an outdoorsman, a hell of a person. Put your hands together for Mr. number 68, Zane Beadles.
I couldn't be more happy. It's interesting how things come full circle. As a junior and a senior in high school, I remember getting recruiting letters from the Colorado School of Mines, not knowing a thing about the School of Mines. But I remember my dad saying, "Oh, that's a great school. You should check into that." So it's kind of cool to be here 8 or 9 years later in front of you guys in the state of Colorado, in the city of Denver, and being able to do this for you guys. I want to start out tonight with a story, and it's an experiment that was done years ago involving barracudas. And many of you may know barracudas are ferocious predators. Nobody wants to be snorkeling or scuba diving and encounter a barracuda, right? So some scientists and probably some psychologists, by the way things turned out, put on this experiment. They put a barracuda in the tank for a while, and they made sure he didn't eat for a few days. So as you can imagine, barracudas are pretty hungry. Barracudas like to eat. After a few days, they put a plexiglass wall in the middle of the tank and put some food on the other side of this plexiglass wall. So as you can imagine, barracuda sees the food and he goes taking off and wham! Right into the plexiglass wall, right? Well, that doesn't feel very good. Barracudas aren't the smartest, but he knows, hey, that didn't feel great, and I didn't get my food. So they do it again later in the day, same thing. He sees the food and he goes running and wham! Right into the plexiglass wall. Again, thing in his mind now, but he still doesn't know what's going on. This goes on for 3-4 days, continues to run into this wall that he can't see, he doesn't know what's going on, but he knows he can't reach his food, and he knows that it hurts. After a few days, they take the plexiglass wall out. They put the food back in the tank, and what does the barracuda do? He sits there, doesn't go get the food, he knows it hurts, he knows he's not going to get it. Eventually he dies. He hasn't eaten in a while, and as we all know, animals need to eat to live. So the barracuda dies, and we'll come back to this in the end, but that's a story I want to start out with. That it'll tie in, I promise, all right? Doing some research here on the Colorado School of Mines when I knew I was going to come speak to you guys tonight. And I found a little tradition that I hope is still a tradition, and I'm not just speaking to people that don't know what I'm talking about here. This tradition is the M climb. Okay, so it's still a viable thing. Good, because I'm going to speak about it a little bit here. For those of you that don't know what the M climb is, apparently freshmen, when they come in, have to carry a 10-pound rock. Might even be more, I don't know. You guys might like to haze a little bit more than 10 pounds. But they carry a 10-pound rock up to the M on the mountain. And they have to leave the rock there, and then they have to paint the M white. And I like this tradition, one, because I'm all about freshmen and rookies having to pay their dues and earning their stripes, so to speak. So I like this for that. But this part of it symbolizes the struggle that freshmen will endure to reach their goals at the School of Mines. As we all know in this room, the School of Mines is not an easy place to get a degree. And especially for athletes, it's even more challenging. The second part of this tradition is seniors go back to the end and retrieve one of the rocks that was laid there, and they can take it with them when they leave, when they graduate. Now, this part of it symbolizes them taking the knowledge and the skills that they have learned with them into the future. I thought this was a great tradition and symbolizes what I want to come here and talk to you guys a little bit about tonight, and hopefully be a little bit inspirational. That's hard to do from an offensive lineman, but I'll do my best. A little bit about my engineering story. When I was 10, 12 years old, something like that, I saw a show on the Discovery Channel, because I'm sure many of the people in this room watch the Discovery Channel. I'm a big fan of it. I watched a show on future weapons, and bombs, missiles, anything to do with defense weapons, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. And as people who know that watch the Discovery Channel, they have these experts come on and they talk about their field of expertise and whatever they're doing that day on the show. And one of the experts in that show that I was watching was a mechanical engineer. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And at that time in my life, I actually wanted to go to the Air Force Academy, and I wanted to be a pilot. A few things in my life led to me not being that. One, I continued to grow. I don't think I really fit in the cockpit of a fighter plane. And I'm not going to be the guy that flies the C-130 cargo plane. That's not very fun, right? I want to be Maverick. So I decided at about 16 years old that I wasn't going to do that anymore. I wanted a different college experience, and I wanted to play Division I football. So that led me to the University of Utah. I was blessed enough to receive a scholarship to play there. Grew up a Utah fan, so it wasn't a hard decision for me. But when I got to the University of Utah, my freshman year, going in, talking to the academic advisors, they're asking me what I want to do. And at that time, I wanted to do electrical engineering. I had switched a little bit. So I was going to do electrical engineering, and they talked to me and they said, okay, well, it's going to be tough for you. I don't know if the schedule is going to really work out. It's going to be hard for you to do that degree. Now, at the School of Mines, you go that and say to them, they're like, all right, great. This no-brainer, no question. At the University of Utah, it wasn't that way. So I started thinking, all right, what am I going to do? So I started, I grew up playing athletics. I played baseball, basketball, football growing up. So that, sports management, that sounds kind of cool. Thought about it for a while, a month or so, and thought to myself, you know what, Zane? Since you were 12 years old, you wanted to be an engineer. You saw that show on the Discovery Channel and thought it'd be really cool to design some defense weapons. Why are you going to go away from that now? So I looked into, more of the engineering stuff and thought about that guy, that expert that was a mechanical engineer again, and I decided, all right, I'm going to do mechanical engineering. Set my mind to it, and that was it. Made a commitment to myself and decided that's what I've always wanted to do, and I'm going to go and get it. I've got a little excerpt here from Napoleon Hill. For people that don't know Napoleon Hill, he's widely regarded as the best author on success in the last couple centuries. I want to read this to you guys. It is critical to your success that you have a well thought out plan for your life and that you stick with it regardless of what others may say and the obstacles you encounter. There will always be fault finders and those who attempt to persuade you that your goals aren't worth the effort you put into achieving them. Those people will never go far, and they will be the first to ask for your help after you have passed them by. Virtually every successful person has considered giving up at some point in his or her struggle to reach the top. And many breakthroughs occurred soon after those same people rededicated themselves to their purpose. There is no known obstacle that cannot be overcome by a person who has constancy of purpose, a positive mental attitude, and the discipline and willpower to succeed. Now that's a very powerful statement to me, and something that I think resonates with my personal story of my education, and something that I think can be very powerful for other people going forward. I'm proud to say, to be able to stand up here and say to you guys that I got my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. It took me 4.5 years of long, hard work. The longest break I had between classes was 11 days. I took summer school every single year because with the football schedule, I wasn't always able to get the classes in that I needed. But I'm proud to be able to say that and stand here in front of you guys today. Thank you. I want to continue and talk about for myself, the 4 best ways I've found to succeed in spite of obstacles that may arise in somebody's life. The first thing is trusting in yourself. I believe that's the first step to success. The mind is a powerful, powerful thing. It's incredible. A quote that I recently learned about that side of things is this: you become what you think about most of the time. And that just shows me how powerful the mind is in achieving your goals and getting to the place where you want to be in your life. Listening to others' negativity will get you nowhere. That positive attitude is everything when you're believing in yourself. For me personally, if I would have listened to those people, the academic advisors saying, it's going to be a tough one for you. I don't know if you'll be able to do it. The schedule's not really set up for you to be able to do that major. I wouldn't have been able to stand up here and just tell you guys that I got my degree in mechanical engineering, and that would have been a sad thing for me. Also, listening to some statistics, 5% of all high school athletes go on to play sports in college. So the athletes that are here at this school and in this room right now are already in the top 5% of the country. Going even further, 0.12%, and that's rounded. I did some engineering there for my speech. 0.12% of all high school athletes will reach the professional level in their sports. Now, I knew these things when I was in high school and when I was in college, and believe me, I'm a realist. That's why education is so important to me and why I believe that getting my education was very important to me. But if I would have listened to these statistics and said, that's a long shot, I'm not really going to be able to get to where I want to be, I wouldn't be able to stand here and tell you guys that I play for the Denver Broncos. Have that introduction that Brandon got for me, and something that I'm very grateful for and feel very blessed to be in the position that I'm in. The second thing I believe is very important to succeed in spite of obstacles is taking intelligent risks. A quote that I think exemplifies that is, "A ship in a safe harbor is safe, but that is not what a ship is built for." The best way to learn, in my opinion, is by failing. If you don't push yourself beyond your comfort level, you're never going to learn. Learning occurs on the edge of your comfort zone. If you don't push yourself past your comfort zone, how can you ever become better today than you were yesterday? I'm a firm believer in that, and I try to live my life in that way. By doing this, obstacles in your life become much less formidable. Obstacles that, the plexiglass window, for instance, in the Barracuda tank. Obstacles like that you think are insurmountable. If you push yourself every single day past your comfort zone, those obstacles become little bumps in the road. You're going to get new obstacles, no doubt about it, but then those ones become small bumps in the road. Personally, I fail all the time. There's no doubt about that. There's much better athletes than me. There's bigger, faster, stronger. You guys may sit here and say, what is he talking about? I'm 6'4", 305 pounds, and I am by no means the big guy in the locker room. There's guys that make me look like a little midget. So, the big thing is, though, that when I do fail, and I fail day in and day out, I try to take those and learn from those things. And I believe that that's why I've been able to be as successful as I've been able to use my brain. And I figure, I failed in this, but how can I get better from that? Where the guy that has the athletic ability and doesn't have to think that way, he just goes out there and does what he does and relies on his body to get him through. I'm not able to do that, so learning from my mistakes and pushing myself out of the comfort zone and learning from failure is huge for me. The third thing in succeeding in spite of obstacles is investing in the process. My big life motto, and my girlfriend can tell you this, I tell it to her all the time, is life's about the journey, not the destination. There's no doubt that you must have an end goal in mind. You must think about your goal, but if you constantly dwell on it and keep asking yourself why you have not yet reached your goal, you're never going to get there. The key is investing day to day in the process that will get you there. For instance, we have a goal this year of winning the Super Bowl. I think that's I hope that's an acceptable goal for you all, and that's definitely, I'm not blowing smoke when I say that. But thinking about, for us, how sweet seeing that confetti is going to be falling from the rafters, and as we walk off Super Bowl champions, thinking about that part of things is not going to get us there. We have a lot of great players. We have a very good team put together. But all we have right now is a chance. If we invest in the process, day in and day out, right now, during the summer, during the spring, during training camp, when we don't want to be there, if we invest in that process, we give ourselves a greater chance to succeed. One way that I try to do this in my life is I like to call it eating the whole pie. So if you think about different aspects of your life, if you think about athletics as one whole pie, it can be pecan, it can be key lime, whatever you want it to be, that doesn't really matter. If you think about your friends, your family, academics, all these different areas of your life as one whole pie. Now, if you try to take one slice from each of those pies and eat them all at once, all you're going to get is a big jumbled mess, right? However, if you take one pie at a time, when you're on the practice field, even though you have a big test coming up, or you have something going on in your family, or your friend's mad at you for whatever you did the night before, if you're thinking about those things, you're not going to be able to put everything that you can into that practice or that training session. I call that eating your whole pie. No matter where you're at any one moment throughout the day, eat your whole pie. For me, that keeps me on track in investing in the process and really enjoying the journey. And I promise you this, if you invest in the process day in and day out, most of the time you'll end up exactly where you want to be. Not always, but if you don't, I promise you'll like where you end up. There's no doubt about that. Fourth thing in succeeding in spite of obstacles, in my opinion, is have fun. Be a day maker. Positive energy brings about positive things. Personally, I try to make someone's day every single day of my life. A big thing for me, if I'm feeling down or out or I'm hurting, whatever, I try to do something nice for someone else. And it's amazing the return you get on something like that. It seems counterintuitive that you go out and do something for someone else, but I promise you, if you do something nice for someone else when you're feeling down, it brightens up your day, and it's amazing how that works. A quote that I like in this instance is, "The true measure of a man is how he treats those who could do nothing for him." When you do these things for people, you're not doing it because you expect something in return. You do it because by doing it, in return, you'll benefit in the end. You make someone else's day. I'm sure some of the coaches in here and many of the athletes, no doubt, will know the moniker of "fake it till you make it." I've definitely lived by that in certain times and in certain workouts and in certain aspects of my life. But it's amazing how even faking positive energy will bring about positive things in your life. For us personally, being on the Denver Broncos and playing in the NFL, the season gets so monotonous. It turns into Groundhog Day, day after day, week after week. And even when you're winning games, probably even more when you're winning games, because now the coach is down your throat and he's stressed out because we got to keep this winning streak going and all these things. And for us, if we don't go in and have fun with each other and really make each other's days, it's all for naught in the end. I try not to take myself too seriously. I know my teammates do that, and I believe that's a big key to success is not worrying about what you look like or anything like that. Not taking yourself seriously. Now, I told you we're going to come back to the Barracuda. I hope you guys saw the correlation between the Barracuda story and what I've talked about. And the big thing I want the people to take away from this is, don't be the Barracuda. Be an inspiration to yourself and others by succeeding in spite of obstacles, in spite of that plexiglass wall. Don't be the Barracuda that keeled over and died because, he thought there was something in the way when he wanted to go eat. You do this by first trusting in yourself, taking intelligent risks, investing in the process, and most of all, having fun. I'm going to leave you with 2 quotes by Bill Gates, smart guy. He, years ago, he talked to a high school and he gave them 11 quotes. I'm not going to give you guys 11. I'm going to give you the 2 that I believe are most relevant to this speech and to this school. The first one is, "Life is not fair, get used to it." And I think we can all attest to that one. The second is, "Be nice to nerds." Chances are you'll end up working for one. So to all my fellow nerds out here tonight who do some really cool things here at the Colorado School of Mines, thanks for having me.